Welcome to Sid's Workshop. This is a two-part series where I show you the process of how I design and build furniture. From the idea and the blank canvas to a 3D model and a cut list. In this video, I'm going to talk to you about how I design around restrictions, such as pre-milled lumber, proportioning, and my method for progression when it comes to decision making. And when you're done with this video, be sure to check out the other one where I go from cut list to built piece of furniture. And now, off to SKETCHUP land. So the program is called Google SKETCHUP, created by two guys in 2002, purchased by Google in 2006, and Google ran with it, giving us this free-to-use basic version I'm using today. This is my kitchen design for my actual house. It's what I use to design all my projects before I build them. Let's open a new project and I'll show you the process of how I design a piece of furniture with this software. Before we start, we have to know the overall dimensions of what we're designing. My dimensions will be 16 by 20 and 30 inches tall. Knowing that, I always start by making a rectangular prism of that size. I then decide the thickness of the top, then subtract the amount of overhang I want from the edges. This will give me a really good idea of where I want to place the legs, or the sides if I'm doing one solid piece. Designing this table is easy because the wood's already chosen for me, which is honestly a good thing in my opinion because creative freedom can be overwhelming. Using something from the store that's already predetermined means you don't have to make those decisions. I have leftover 2x10s and 2x3s from previous projects, so that's what we're going with. I like to design by proportioning everything into thirds. The reason I chose 30 inches for the height is because I'm using 2x10s, which will be the length of the drawer face and sides. As for the legs, I'm designing them with a 3-inch part facing forwards, which I think will look better as I'm trying to keep everything looking chonky. I did design one with the 2-inch part facing forward, which you'll see in about 20 seconds, but in my opinion it looks terrible. But this is by far the coolest part about this software. You can just copy the thing you're making, move it to the side, make the adjustments you want to, and then pull the camera back and stare at both of them at the same time to decide which one you like more. A lot of design changes actually happen here. I don't know if anyone's noticed, but I actually designed the sides and the drawer front with 1x8s. But in the finished product, I promise you, I used 2x10s. As I'm putting the shelf in on the model with the 2-inch legs facing forwards, I realize it just doesn't look right. And I give up right here, I copy the first one, and I just start over. I know which one I like more, it's the one I built. But please let me know in the comments below if you like the one with the skinnier looking legs. Every time I make a design decision I'm unsure of, I move the project to the right. And every time I make a decision I'm sure of, I move the project forward. This allows me to go back through the design and start over almost like a save checkpoint in a game. So for this lateral move, I'm going from 1x8s to 1x10s for the sides and drawer front. As you can see, I was happy with that, so I pulled the design forward, and this is where I went with 2x10s for the sides. I added a 2x3 at the back, mainly for assembly purposes, allowing me to build this in stages where I build the legs, put them together, and then add the top. Now we get to start having fun and playing around with color. This free version of SKETCHUP has tons of great colors and textures, and I'm deciding in the exact same fashion where I'm going to lay out a bunch of different ones side by side to make my decision. After trying a bunch of different patterns, it came down to what I think will look best with the weathered gray stain, and do I do a two-tone nightstand, or do I add a third color to the top and the shelf? And the winner is, drumroll please! I decided to go with the lighter tone as that's the natural color of the hemlock, which means no staining and less sanding, which means happy Sid. Now I'm doing something I've never done before, which is make a cut list based off of my SKETCHUP model. There are ways that you can make components and make this task easier, but I'm just copying and then moving it to the side, deleting all the lines that aren't necessary, and then laying it out into my cut list. Keeping in mind, I'm making 2 of these, meaning I need 2 of everything. I didn't 3D model the drawers because I built them to size after building the nightstand. So for those wanting that, you're gonna have to check out the next video. Since this was my first time doing a digital cut list, you might be wondering, did it help? Well, you tell me if all the pieces are there.